Welcome back to another episode of the Hooligans Pitch. This is episode 20. It is January 22nd. I'm here again with Chad, and we are here to talk
Hello.
the crazy week of football we had. It was pretty good. I had a good time watching this week.
Yeah, I caught a handful of games. Some were a little bit of a stinker, but overall, I think there's some good games.
Oh, I know which stinker you're talking about. We don't need to be shy around it. It is early. It is 1:30 Central Time. Are you drinking anything 11:30 Pacific Time? Because
That H2O, baby.
okay, I was gonna say you might have partied today. I don't know. Kristen made me a little latte, so I got my World Cup glass, and
I had my coffee earlier, so
I doubled up, so I'm feeling it.
doubled up.
I got a paper to write today. I got a lot of stuff I need to get done. So
It's fair.
Yeah,
fair.
we're jonesing for some caffeine. Okay, let's talk footy. Let's go to this Tottenham game.
Jump right in.
I watched it live. 2-0 by halftime. If we go back to our last episode, do you remember what we said Tottenham should do differently?
I mean, I think we've kind of said it the whole season is just like play the first half like they play the second half.
and to their credit, I think they did play the first half like how they played the second half. But let's throw this big old butt into there. They played the second half like they played the first half.
Yeah, see, they just got confused. They got a little backwards.
Why do teams do this against City?
I don't know. It's like I understand the typical mindset of like once you have a decent lead, like don't do anything crazy to give up a opportunity or goals and kind of see out the game. But like when you're going against top teams, like especially City, the more they have the ball, the more likely they're going to score on you. And to sit back against them is just a death wish, like especially through a whole half, like not just the last 15 minutes or something,
Who do you think had more touches that game?
Between the teams?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think City.
City by almost 200. Tottenham touched the ball 589 times, and I imagine most of those came in the first half. I can't break it down by halves. And then City had 754. And if you look at the heat map for that game, which I do recommend, and you look at Tottenham's spots, they had one red spot, very bright red, all in the keeper position. They didn't spread the ball. It looked like they were running for their lives as soon as the second half came through. And time again, City goes down and says, now we get the ball for a full 45 minutes. Let's do what we've always done and just absolutely dominate the game. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. I don't know why teams do it. Like, I get if they were Bournemouth or something where it's like we should not be in the lead, and then you're just hanging on for dear life. But like when you're Tottenham, you're kind of City's bogey team and have been for a few seasons now. Like, and you already go up 2 on them in the first half. You got to keep that pressure on,
especially the second one. The second one was like, ooh, like that was like that's special. I didn't expect that. And then they just gave City the pleasure to do whatever they want. 3 goals from the 51st minute to the 63rd, and then by that it was over. That fourth one was kind of just like a little cherry pick, like a little extra something. Didn't mean the game at all, but it drives me crazy to watch this Tottenham team try pretty hard. They look decent in the first half, especially when Kane isn't doing everything. When he isn't doing all the work and everyone is contributing, like that's when Tottenham's kind of at their best. But when he's trying to carry, it just doesn't work.
When he can just play striker, they look great. But then those times where he has to drop so far back just to get any movement of the ball up the pitch, it's like, it's the same thing you talk about all the time. Is like you check the heat map for the striker and it's in their own half. It's like, ugh, that's not where you want them.
It's like the exact opposite of what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, that's Haaland got on the score sheet again. I think when he's flowing, everything else is gelling for that team. It's hard to beat when that guy is just bodying up.
Yeah, I mean, he's always going to be a threat whether he scores or not. So if a team can't like fully box him out, then he's always going to be lurking around, always ready to score and cause issue. And here you go.
Yep. So that's back-to-back losses now for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Do you think they play tomorrow against Fulham? Do you think that's
Fulham.
Do you think that's 3 in a row?
I mean, I could see it. Fulham, they have it in them to definitely do some damage. I think it just depends what Tottenham shows up, you know?
That's so true. And we did just get the news that Conte will not be renewing. So after this,
Officially?
Well, I don't know what my source was, but I kind of believe it. I can do a quick search, but
I mean, I know he's been talking in the interviews and stuff, more or less saying he's not coming back unless they like heavily invest, which I don't think they will, because Kane's gotta go this summer anyway. Like if they aren't actively trying to sell him, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear the stories of him like handing in a transfer request, because dude's 30, given Tottenham his whole career basically. Like, just go to United at this point and, you know, maybe hopefully win something.
Yeah, and there is speculation that Real Madrid will come knocking, which I could see that move actually happening as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think between that and like I've heard like PSG thrown around and stuff, I think he'd probably go United just to stay in England.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess you get a little bit of a glimpse of what United want to do with Weghorst up there. Like, ideally, that is not Weghorst up top; it's Kane, and you know he can contribute more goals and link up with the play a little bit more. Whereas like Weghorst right now is just kind of the backboard for them to play off. So
I think having both of those players for United would be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have, you know,
a complimentary backup.
Yeah, like that, but then also a little bit different where Weghorst is that just like cross that ball in and he'll get his head on it, where Kane is a little bit more well-rounded. So
yep. All right, let's jump to Chelsea Liverpool. I know that was bright and early for you.
It was. I woke up for it, and I kind of stayed awake.
Well, it wasn't a game you really needed to stay awake for.
Yeah.
Bright and early, but dark and gloomy on the pitch. In Liverpool's head, I would say that was a draw that felt like a win, because I saw a lot more shots on target from Chelsea. I saw a lot more energy from Chelsea. It looked like every shot Liverpool did was just a shank and went nowhere near the target.
Yeah,
it was like, ugh.
Cody Gakpo.
Yeah, chances.
I gave you a pass last week. This week, like, I know it's still early in your Liverpool career, but you had 2 or 3 like really good looks and just skies them. Like,
he had a great turn 2-on-1 shot that like just wasn't on target. And I'm all about making keepers work, even if it's not going to be a goal. Make the keeper get a little dirty, wear him out, get at his legs,
force that save. Yeah.
Oh man, that was frustrating. And I feel like Salah has so much pressure to maybe still be that guy. Mm-hmm. We need Gakpo. We need Nunez to start doing a little bit more. Yeah, that was a hard game to watch.
I mean, yeah, I heard like the commentators and stuff say it kind of felt just like a mid-table team game, and like it kind of did.
Was,
which, like, considering how both teams have been this season, makes sense.
It's 9th and 10th place, Chad.
I know. I mean, it's as mid-table as you can get, you know. But I think Chelsea did have a little bit more energy about them, maybe because it was a home match for them, but then also they do have kind of the excitement of João Felix signing, the Mudryk signing, like just a little bit more excitement around the club compared to Liverpool's kind of like, we need signings, we need something.
We need something, all right. That is true. What do you think of Mudryk?
I thought he looked pretty lively, pretty good. Still, I don't know if you'd call it like rusty because he hasn't played in a few, I think since October or something is when Ukraine goes on their winter break. So he hasn't played in a little bit, but some of his touches were a little bit crazy, but yeah, he looked quick. His control, for the most part, I think looked pretty good. I mean, is he worth the 100 million or whatever that they'll end up paying? I don't know, but it is what it is.
They have time to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Is and should Thiago Silva be Chelsea's best player? Start with the is.
Is he best player? I think at the moment, yeah.
Should
he be? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you do want that defensive rock in the back. Like, Virgil's best seasons, like, he runs the back line. No one's getting past him, Yeah, and Thiago kind of does that for Chelsea, which is great, but you also would ideally have better players or better options ahead of him to create, score goals, kind of run the team on the attacking front, because your defensive front, like, he's got that locked down.
You look at their team, and the names on this list are just endless on paper of who should be above him, and his age too heavily matters in this. He's 38 years old, and you have guys like I'll just start from the top of the list here. Conte has been out, James has been out, but let's go. Mount should be better than Thiago and looked almost invisible. Havertz, he's playing a weird spot for Chelsea right now, but he does he's attacking the ball, he's rushing to it. The offside goal that he had was a little controversial. That was, I think, more harsh for Chelsea than it should have been. In Liverpool, I'll take it. You just keep going down this list, and there's so many guys on here who have been there and done that, yet just for Chelsea they've been invisible.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it maybe comes down to tactics at this point, right? Like, we kind of said it the whole season that Chelsea just don't really create anything. And
is that the Potter effect?
Maybe.
Why is no one at Potter's head right now? I feel like he's getting a huge pass.
I think because Chelsea, under new ownership, I think is trying to sell it as like, this is the project now. It's not the Chelsea of old where, if we don't win something this year, the dude's gone, we get a new one, and 13 months later he's gone again or whatever. It's like this time they're trying, it looks like, to commit to a long-term project to actually build a sustainable team, over multiple seasons, which if they can, great. But I think it'll take maybe a little bit of work from the fans to like keep that in their heads too, and not get on Potter when you do have these seasons where just things don't work. Like, there's players on the team he probably doesn't want and wants to get rid of, and I don't know. But like, tactically, you should still be able to get some good ball movement, get some at least creative chances in there, and they still don't. Like, it just,
when Liverpool's rock of a defender is not playing and you can't score on them, that's like, kudos to Liverpool right there, right? For, I guess, holding down the fort. But at the same time, what's Chelsea doing to not score? Just unexplainable. There's like no words for it. There's nothing we can say. And I wish, I'm not going to say I wish Chelsea would have won, but just they have the much deeper. Granted, their injury history is like ridiculous, but I do think on paper for that game they probably should have beat Liverpool. If we look at the touches, they've had to have blown that game out in touches, just from what I remember. Okay, not too much more, 782 to 700, but again, their red spots are within their own half and close to their own 18. So Liverpool definitely kind of stuck around them there, but Liverpool didn't look that potent. So, if the ball was down there a lot, great. But if they put shots on target, that would be even better. And our stat sheet here for shots on target has to be sad as well. It's got to be, 3. Chad. Oh, man. I shouldn't have looked. I shouldn't have looked. 3 shots on target, 7 shots from Gakpo, 2 from Keita. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 shots total.
Oof.
3 on target. That's a bad conversion rate.
Yeah, you gotta bump up those numbers.
that says it all right there.
Yeah, I mean, again, like Gakpo's early on his time with the team, but Salah set him up like one or two times, like
Dude.
really clear chances, and to not even force a save from the keeper is just you can't do that at this level, you know?
It's frustrating. It's fucking frustrating.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on. Again, that was an ugly game. We shouldn't be talking about
yeah,
mid-table teams in depth, but uh, I had to. Need to
yeah,
just. This is my vent. Let
yeah.
me
That's
vent. Aston Villa 1-0 against Southampton. Kind of a snoozer. A lot of mid-table games this week, which I don't really know how much into them we want to go.
Yeah, I didn't really like. I breezed through the highlights of this one, and
Just meh.
yeah,
Meh.
yeah.
West Ham 2-0 on Everton. Bottom of the table teams fighting for their relegation
Man,
spot.
I watched this game because I was expecting a tight relegation battle, and it just was not. Like Everton just kind of rolled over, and so, that was that.
They have
I
no
just
creativity. They have no striking force. Who are you scared of when you play Everton?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tarkowski because he's going to block the shot like 6 times.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just even saying that, some of the defending that Everton puts out is just comical at this point. Like they're just all over the place, and you have experience back there, and it should not be so like disjointed at times, and it is. And I don't know. I think at this point, Everton's probably got to let Lampard go if they want to survive. Like you're just
That's the thing. Do you at this point, do you just claim what's inevitable and maybe own that you are going to get relegated and make a little bit of profit? Because you do have players that I think teams would want.
yeah. I mean that's just
keep the youngsters, get rid of the old guys, and then rebuild for next year in the championship. But
yeah. I mean I think you
no
probably
one wants to lose.
yeah you probably do what you can to stay in the Premier League. Like as much as you do need that big kind of rebuild, and getting relegated would kind of force you into that. Like you just always take the risk of once you go down, you could continue to go down or stay down at least.
Sure.
And but I don't know. I think Lampard's time is done. At Everton especially, and maybe as a manager at all. Like I don't know. I guess lower end teams or lower league teams could look at him, but I don't think he'll be managing at a high level for quite some time.
Yeah, I think he needs to figure something out in a lower division and then bring a team up.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a lot of pressure to take on a team like that who hasn't done much in the last couple decades,
Oh, yeah.
and expect them to all of a sudden be good, but they've kind of just kept sinking every year. We just keep seeing them downward spiraling. And, if they do move down, say they do get relegated, there's going to be a lot of players on that team that other teams are looking at. I can't imagine Pickford is staying on that team next year.
No, I feel like he'd probably go. I think your Tarkowski goes. I think Onana probably goes. Calvert-Lewin, Anthony Gordon.
Maupay, they just got Maupay this year,
Maupay,
he's probably gone. Tarkowski, Cody, those guys who just were on Burnley and a possible Wolverhampton team that might get relegated too. Like they weren't going down to the championship, so who will come knocking? That is the question.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking of, next year's kind of Fulham and Forest teams that just come up, and it's like, oh, Premier League experienced players now cheaper than they would have been. Like, gotta jump on it.
Yep, the veterans for sure. I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit here. Do you see Mendy or Kepa being Chelsea's keeper next year?
I think so.
Okay, I'm curious if Everton does get relegated, if Pickford would be on their minds.
I mean, Mendy started the season good. Kepa has looked decent since he's come back in, but like they both have just gone through those periods where they're just terrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. If Pickford's available, maybe you go for him because like he is a good keeper, and if you can get England national team Pickford out of him to play like that for your club, like
right.
you're set, you're golden.
Usually when your keeper is the best player on the team, you're not going to have that great of a team. And if you look at Chelsea's team for next year, if everyone is healthy, he'll be on the bottom of that list of who is the best player. So that'll be quite a change for him to maybe trust his teammates a bit more too. So positioning for him might be better. I don't know. There's a lot of factors that go in for if that swap potentially happens. But I would say keep your eye on that one, because if you look at the top 6, everyone kind of has a solidified keeper who has been at the club for years. And I don't know, I think Chelsea is the one who's had this this factor of like, who should it be today? Like there's never consistency.
They got the 2 like high profile keepers. Yeah. So, I think eventually maybe after this season, since they will have both played a good chunk, like one of them I think will probably look to leave and just get a starting role wherever they can go.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I watched Leicester and Brighton. That was a super fun game.
I should have watched that one. I watched the highlights. It looked cool in the highlights.
Yeah, it was fun. It was exciting. I think Brighton was probably the better team on during the game, but they just made a couple errors, which let Leicester get back in. James Maddison looked good. He took some crazy hits. I was like, this dude is injured. I was like, this dude's injured again. And then he just kind of bounced right back up like fairly quickly. I mean, he was down, like crunching tackle down. And then like when he was ready for the free kick, he was like, oh, I'm ready to go now. And I was just like, dang, like your knee looked like it exploded. I think he helps that team a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how they stay up in the table.
Yeah, they definitely need Madison in the team. As long as he can stay healthy, I think Leicester has a good chance of at least not floating around that relegation zone anymore. But I mean, from what I saw, it looked like Brighton will probably feel like these are points dropped rather than just being happy with the draw. But I'm gonna shout out Matoma. That guy is just, what a player. I mean, every time he's on the ball, he looks like a threat. He had 1 goal. He should have had an assist for Solly March, but dude just shanked it.
He slipped, Chad. He slipped.
Okay.
Yeah. The pitch was. He wasn't the only one to slip there either.
Really?
Yeah. If you watch the highlights of that game, there was probably like 2 or 3 players on both sides just trying to clear the ball in that area, and they were just slipping like crazy. I think PK spots are just a hot zone for getting trashed, and that was he had a chance though. He had a chance to blast that in the net and just like
it was like perfectly set up for him. Like I watched the highlight and I had looked at who had scored before this and all that, and I see the ball coming into him. I was like, I don't remember seeing his name on the score sheet, and then just somehow skies it. I was like, oh, okay.
Matoma though that goal was sweet. Total bender. No way anyone's getting that. McAllister played really good. Did they show his elbow, someone elbowing him in the face in the highlights?
No.
Oh, so a funny moment in the game. He got elbowed really hard and went down. It was just like starting to like kind of gush blood. You could see the cut on his lip. And he went out of the game for like a minute and then came back into the game. And I wish I had like a napkin or something, but he just had like a mouthful of cotton that he couldn't even close his mouth. And he was getting subbed back and he had a smile on his face. It was just like red cotton just in his mouth. And he played with it for a little bit because I think he got hurt right before halftime. It was somewhere in that area. And the commentators kind of were just like, well, look at that. Like, how is he going to breathe? And I was like, yeah, like, how is he going to breathe? That looks miserable. But he looked
must
good.
Have been one of those where they were just like, look, this is going to be uncomfortable and just annoying, but it's a few minutes to halftime, so just deal with it.
Yeah, and then by the next half, he didn't even have it in his mouth, and his lip looked fine. It must have been kind of below like his lip line, because it didn't look swollen either. So, but there was a lot of blood. But lips bleed like crazy when you get knocked. Great goal at the end of the game by Brighton to even it out. I thought Leicester was going to maybe get away with the win. They subbed on Albrighton, and then he immediately scored. I was like, wow, it's kind of crazy who didn't start to begin with. Again, could be the Rodgers effect where he doesn't want to play his best guys and whatever. I don't know. That's another story, but that was a fun game to watch. happy to watch it. And then after that game, I caught the Crystal Palace Newcastle game. You get a chance to watch that one?
Not live, but I watched the highlights and stuff. And I mean, I think Newcastle in defense, they're just like so tight and controlled. And I know like Crystal Palace had a few looks here and there, but I mean, Newcastle's defensive record for this year just speaks for itself. The most clean sheets and least goals allowed, and they're just so hard to break down. I think they probably feel like they should have maybe got something from this game, but they just didn't seem super clinical in front of goal.
Vieira took out a lot of his attack-minded players around the 60th minute to like secure the draw. It looked like he wanted the 0-0 because shortly after that sub, Isaac and Maximum came in. So like. I think he saw them warming up and went, okay, I need to get my guys in there to make sure we're like going to be rock solid. I don't think he wanted them to get subbed in before his subs. So it's a little bit of like a chess offensive defensive move there, which credit to him. Like it worked out. I would take a draw against Castle right now.
Sure,
So that was a game that Castle probably should have scored. I'm wondering why they're not playing Isaac and St. Maximum to start these games. I understand they're coming off an injury, but like they look decent enough to give a full 90.
Yeah, I'm thinking it must just be, being overly cautious, getting them back to full match fitness because, I mean, prior to the injury, St. Maximin was starting.
Do you remember his injury? What was wrong with him?
I think it was like a knee thing.
Okay.
But I'm also just saying that because his knee is like always wrapped. So,
okay.
And then Isaac, I mean, he was your big summer signing, right? So of course you want to get him in there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I saw St. Maximum had he messed up his hamstring. Did Isaac have any problem? Is that correct?
I mean, he had some issue. I think it was maybe calf or something.
Okay.
I don't know. He picked it up on international duty, but
got it.
But I mean, yeah, I think eventually we'll see them start together, and I would think that's going to be their preferred, strike partnership with Almiron on the right. But yeah, I don't know. I think, we saw Bruno come back after potential weeks out, healed in days.
What is that?
Healed. Just
what is that?
I don't know. I those kind of things always make me worry. Where it's like, if the team is going to come out and say like, yeah, weeks or extended period out, and then they're back the next game, and could just be mind games. I don't know why you need to play mind games against Crystal Palace, but it also could just be that the player's kind of forcing himself back and saying like, yeah, I'm good to go, and then
he played the full 90.
I know, so he must be fine, but.
Yeah, I mean, but to go, goalless in a big game like this, and him being your central, midfield like creator, and do almost nothing, that's a little concerning. At least from a fantasy standpoint, for me, I'm actually kind of happy I made this move, even though I wanted Bruno in there. But since we're just getting clean sheet after clean sheet here, like defensive players are just going to get me more points in the end. So
yeah, and I mean, like, I would hope they're not rushing him back. Like, this is not a game where you should have felt like you needed Bruno, right? Like, you should have the players to beat Crystal Palace even without him.
Right.
I mean, clearly it didn't work even with him in there, but I would think they're smart enough to not rush him back into this game. But,
well, they didn't rush Isaac and St. Maximum back into these situations, so it must have been a player decision. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eye on that. And then no Joachim Anderson, but our USA young boy here, Chris Richards, he's been lighting up on the stat sheet and keeping that back line in order. So it will be interesting to see what they do moving forward with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's looked good the past couple games that he stepped in, and more top flight experience is always good for us as the US men's national team, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. He had obviously the clean sheet against Newcastle, and then against Man United pretty much held down that fort back there too to make sure they secured the draw. So yeah, I'm all for a 2020 or a 22-year-old kind of kicking butt in the Premier League. That looks good. Leeds, Brentford today. No creativity. Yeah, I watched parts of it. It's
gotta be. I watch this as a neutral, and I was frustrated. Like, I can't imagine being a fan of any of these teams. Like, they both play with such like a high energy and just like sprinting the whole time.
It's out of control.
But then they get to each other's box, and then they're just like, "What do?" they have no idea. They get there and they just wait. They stand around, try a pass, and it gets blocked, and they run back, and the other team does the same thing.
It looked exhausting. The bits and pieces that I watched. Yeah, I don't know, but they don't have those. They don't have those names that can finish like others do. Bamford, it's Bamford. Like, what are you gonna do there? And then
even Ivan Toney, like they didn't really get him involved enough
in the
play to even have him be a threat. So I don't know. Take
Toney,
the clean sheet for my fantasy points. But.
Right, Toney plays for his opposition, meaning he's gonna try hard against the bigger teams, and I think there is no reason why he shouldn't have dominated this game. I don't know, the Toney effect. Yeah, I don't got much more to say about that.
That was it.
Okay, well, last two games of the weekend, Chad. Did we all hate on Haaland so much where he was like, "F you guys, I'm getting my Hattie"?
I don't know if hate is the word, but we maybe started to doubt.
Yeah, there was a little bit of doubt from my viewpoint, going like, okay, like he came out guns blazing and now he's cooled off, but now he has 4 goals in the last 2 games. We're gonna do this whole thing again. He got subbed out at the 60. I thought this was gonna be the game where he scored 5. Now, granted, his goals weren't anything special.
No, he's your true number 9 striker, just there in front of the goal, receives the pass, puts it in the back of the net, easy peasy.
Yep, header was again a good goal, great goal, but like right place, right time, got up where he needed to be. Saw made a terrible pass to who did he give that to? Was it Mahrez?
Mahrez, I think.
Dude, just like, what was that? That was
can't do that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was awful. Because at that point the Wolves were still like looking decent. And then that just took the gas out of them. And then the PK is just, what are you gonna do? So another 3. Where does that put him now?
So he's at 25 goals. Can you just give me a guess? If he were to have more goals than some teams in the league right now, how many teams would that be?
Wow. He has 25. Okay. I'm gonna look at the table. I'm not gonna look at goal differentials, but I think I can figure it out just by looking. There's probably a lot. Everton. Can you say if that's a team or not?
Their a team.
Okay. Wolverhampton. Leeds.
No.
No. Okay. Southampton, because they're at the bottom. I'm gonna go Bournemouth 2. Is that 5 right now?
Yeah, 4.
I have 4. I'm looking at. I don't think Leicester. Forest. Okay. Can you tell me? No, don't tell me if I'm done. West Ham is close. West Ham hasn't scored nothing in the first. West Ham. Oh man, is there more? There's got to be more. Villa. Oh my god, there's more.
You got 2 more.
2 more. Okay. I don't think Palace has scored a lot. Oh my god, this is unbelievable. And then it's got to be. Did I say Leeds?
You did, but
Okay,
they're above. They made it.
they made it. That's crazy. I don't know who would have scored all those goals for them. Dude, is it a team in the top 10? It's got or Leicester. Is it Leicester?
No,
It's not Leicester. Am I crazy to say Chelsea? Oh my lord. 9 teams?
9 teams. He has more goals than Chelsea being one of them. It's just ridiculous.
That is a bar bet waiting to happen.
I know.
Post that in our banter group. We got to post that. We got to post that in our Discord. Actually, I'm gonna post that question right now. I can't do it while we're recording, but that is fascinating.
It's just like I mean I saw someone commented on Reddit, so I'm not going to take all the credit for it, but I saw that comment and I just didn't believe it because it just sounds so just crazy, right? And so I went and looked, and sure enough, 9 teams, which is just maybe not surprising for the bottom 3-4 teams, but like to get up to top 10 and there's still be teams below that with less than 25 goals scored in half of their season.
So Leeds is the only team in the bottom 10 who has scored more?
Leeds and Leicester have scored
Leeds
more.
and
Leicester has 28, Leeds has 26. So
well, he's going to catch him probably next week.
Yeah, so
okay, we got to pay. So who out of the top 9 then, how close is he to the Liverpools and the Brentfords and the Fulhams?
It was a pretty clear pass that.
I guess I can go goal fours on my list here.
Because everyone else is kind of in the 30s and stuff.
Okay.
So Liverpool 34, Brentford, Fulham 32, Newcastle 33. So they've got some room, but like
2 more hat tricks and he might catch them.
True, yeah.
That is a crazy stat. I want to know the last person that's beat out 9 teams.
Yeah, I have no idea.
If it's ever happened.
I don't know. I mean, this early on, you would think no. Like, no one should be at 25 goals. Like, that's the number that you, like, win the Golden Boot with, right? Like, and you're already there halfway through the season? Yeah. I mean, I got another one for you.
Okay.
So he's scored 4 hat tricks in Premier League so far.
Yep.
In 19 games.
Yep.
So this is now the quickest any Premier League player has scored 4 hat tricks.
I might know this stat already, but I keep going.
Okay. So the next closest was Van Nistelrooy.
Uh-huh.
How many games did it take him to get 4 hat tricks?
Oh, 4 hat tricks. Okay. Haaland's done it in 20?
19.
So that was probably, the early 2000s, late 90s when he was killing it. Dude, it's probably something stupid, like 120.
No.
I'm too far? Okay. Let's go, if it took Haaland 20, and that's an absurd amount, let's go 40. 19. Yeah, 19. Let's go 44.
No. Kind of right in the middle of those guesses. 65 games, which is respectable for 4 hat tricks.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
But not for Haaland. Haaland said that's too many games. I don't got that kind of time.
Okay, I got one for you now.
Yeah.
Haaland has 4 hat tricks in the Premier League. How many did Ronaldo have in the Premier League? I know that's like a pretty broad question, but in his tenure, how many hat tricks did Ronaldo have? And now, did Van Nistelrooy only have 4?
No, I don't know. The list was just to get to 4.
Okay,
because he was the record holder for it. I think Suarez was next in line with like 81 games or something. But anyway, Ronaldo hat tricks. I want to say like I'm gonna go like 15.
It's a big number, Chad.
Yeah, see, I don't remember ever hearing too much about Ronaldo scoring a lot of hat tricks necessarily.
He had 3.
That's it? What's this guy been doing?
Playing for Madrid.
Dang.
Now, I'm sure he had a lot at Madrid. You want to take a stab at how many hat tricks he had at Madrid?
Madrid. I'd maybe go like 9.
Those are rookie numbers. This number's going to blow you away. This just shows how I think the difference of a player he was from Man U to Real, and how much Man U might have like screwed up by not keeping him. 34.
No way.
in an 8-year span.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
I mean, he was one of the best, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, one more. We're going crazy right now being in La Liga. Let's do Messi.
Oh God. If Ronaldo was 34, I'm gonna say.
Do you want me to tell you if it's more or less? Or are you just going to go for it?
I'm just gonna go like 30.
30? He had more than Ronaldo.
More than Ronaldo. All right, let's go 42.
36. 36.
I was thinking it for a second, but
however, he was with Barcelona a lot longer than Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So I don't have the complete year total, but I guess it's when did he start there? 2008, 2007, somewhere in there, and then he left only 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So a little bit longer, but still totally different style of player. So, but I mean, still impressive, both stats.
Well, Haaland's knocked out 4 already, so
he's on his way, and he's only 23. He's 23.
Something like that, yeah.
Something stupid. He's 22.
Oh, good.
He's got time, plenty of time. Out of that game, anything special? I mean, it was Wolves. We all kind of expected this.
Yeah,
it could have been worse.
Yeah, I think had Saw not given that pass away, it probably would have ended 2-0, which, I mean, even 3-0 against this City team is pretty respectable for Wolves when you're in 17th right now. Like, yeah. Should we get to my favorite game of the week?
Take it away.
Oh, well, of course. Arsenal still top of the league, number 1. It feels good, you know? I was a little worried and stressed going into this game just because it was a top table clash. Feel a lot less stressed now. I
bet. What do you think of this quote from an anonymous user? Still got half a season, though, as well as other competitions. If your team stays healthy, they might have a chance at the title. Still not convinced. What do you say back to that?
I mean, it's just like it comes across as the typical like rival fan who just doesn't want to admit that like this team that is not his favorite team could go on and win the thing, which fair enough. Injuries can come into play, and
which they already are.
Yeah, other competitions can get in the way and cause some issues. So yeah, it's clearly not over. I mean, the lead on City is minimal, and we still have to play them twice. Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, come on, like you can accept that you almost had the draw here and you lost it, like, and through fair play, there was no crazy call or anything. It's Arsenal's season. I don't know what to tell you.
Man, you try to play for the draw.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw that where Fernandez goes down with a head injury.
Oh, I was like, that's either the worst whiplash of his life, or he's just doing. And then De Gea too.
Eddie Nketiah just ripped his arm off. Did you see it?
I'm sure he shattered his elbow.
I mean, so like, yeah, if you're gonna play for the draw like that, this can happen. Regardless of the team you're playing against.
Yep.
But I think it was a tough game for Arsenal. They looked a little like lackadaisical today, like a little bit slow on some decision making and stuff. And I mean, Ben White jumped out to me immediately as just like being a little bit off.
Yeah, what's
Uh,
going on there? What do you think?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything in the lead up to it, and haven't really had a chance to look at anything yet afterwards. But I don't know if maybe he just feeling a little ill or something. But I mean, he just looked a little bit
Off.
slow and just kind of off his game. So I wasn't surprised that he got subbed out at halftime.
That pass he
And
had to no one, and then just it was like
yeah,
had no pace or zip on it. I was like, whoa, what
yeah.
was that?
And he's already on the yellow card, and it's just even if he was playing better, I wonder if he still would have got subbed just to avoid the risk of the second yellow. Um, but Tomiyasu was a great option too, and can fill that role just as well, and did kept Rashford quiet the rest of the game. So
On Nketiah's third goal or second goal of the game, but third of the game, um, did you celebrate or did you wait?
it's definitely one of those where like I have that initial like celebrate, but then like I recognize that it was pretty close to the line, so it's not going overboard because I was just gonna wait for the VAR check, and once they pull up the freeze frame, like I saw right away that Wan-Bissaka's like at the end line,
Yeah.
and Nketiah's clearly on sides, and I was like, all right, yeah, let's go.
Well, I thought Zinchenko was a lot closer than they made it seem.
I thought so
I thought
too.
that's what they would be looking at more so.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't, or at least didn't show that they were looking at it so much, because I think that one was definitely way closer than
I agree.
Nketiah, but I'll take it.
don't ask questions, right?
I mean, but speaking on Zinchenko, that guy is just
Everywhere.
he's left back playing right mid and like center attacking mid for portions of the game, and it's just it's definitely part of the tactics to just overload the midfield or the right side or whatever. And I mean, I don't know how defending teams will cope with it, because you're not planning for the left back to now occupy this space on the right side anymore.
He's so good at it. He's so confident when he gets the ball that he's going to do whatever he wants. My favorite part of that game with Zinchenko was when I think Partey had the ball and he just like walked up to him and just took it and just like said like give me. And he started dribbling around the pitch again, and it was like, all right, like whatever, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's him and Jesus. They have obviously been with City, so they have that like winning mentality, and I think that's really going to come into play in this like back half of the season, where they're going to do what they can to keep everyone focused, but then I think also will take those moments to kind of put the team on their back a little bit, and just kind of give the game a little bit more control and calmness. And I mean, yeah, he's everywhere you want him to be, and then he's making the defensive plays still, and it's wild to watch him.
Yep. And what do you think of Trossard? We only saw him for a couple minutes, but he was involved in the final goal. Definitely a threat that I think other teams are going to have to respect.
I mean, even through his time at Brighton, like he's always been a bright spot for them.
No pun intended.
Yeah. But here I think he'll be really good. His dribbling is good. He's very two-footed. I think it's accurate that he either this season or like last season has the same number of goals with each foot or something like that, or shots on target with each foot. Forget what it was, but he's just very two-footed, which is always going to be a threat. And he's quick. He's good in the tight spaces. Like, I'm excited for it. When we made the signing, it was maybe felt a little bit underwhelming, only because like the hype around Mudryk was so much, and he is kind of this unknown, like could be great, unknown quantity sort of thing, where Trossard is known for the most part. But I think having just more Premier League experience in the team will be great. And he's played with a few of the guys. He's I think he was coached by one or two of the coaching staff already at other clubs, so like he has some connections. I think he's going to be good, especially just for extra cover.
Okay, and I do know that Wenger was looking at him back in 2016 when he was playing for Genk in Belgium. So he's always been on Arsenal's radar. And
Yeah,
then
for sure.
they kind of took, how many years later? 6.5 years later,
Yeah. I
finally
mean,
pounced
fair
on it.
enough. Like, I know his time at Brighton kind of ended a little bit.
Shaky.
Yeah, but fair enough. He'd been there a while. He'd done pretty well with them. He's 28, so kind of in his prime slash getting to the later stages of his career. So he probably wanted to move up. And if Brighton was, I don't really know what went on with them, but like he wasn't playing anymore. So I don't think it was a attitude force myself out, force myself not to train sort of thing like we were talking about last week. But I think he'll be good. I mean, Arteta and Edu have been good with their signings so far, and they haven't been afraid to walk away from deals if it didn't feel right. And I think they learned after like the Willian deal and stuff that like just because they do have Premier League experience doesn't necessarily mean they're going to perform for you. So I think they probably do their vetting pretty heavily now, and will be confident in the signing before they even complete the signing.
I forgot about that signing, to be honest. I was like, oh yeah,
Well,
Willian,
yeah, he's lighting it up at Fulham now.
crazy.
So.
What a career. Just to talk a little bit of niceness about Man U, Rashford, man, he's got that team on his back. He's looking really good in the front.
I mean, this was the perfect fantasy day for me, honestly. I get the fantasy points from him, from Bukayo Saka, and then just real world, Arsenal get the win. So all around, great day.
And you're in the Haaland show now. Welcome.
Yeah.
You don't even got to trip about it anymore.
No, it's good.
But
I mean, yeah, Rashford looks good.
Yeah.
Even Bruno Fernandes, he's everywhere on the pitch too. Like, he contributes in attack and defense. He's a little bit of a crybaby for my liking, but
Eriksen looked good too. He was everywhere. I haven't seen the excuse yet from Man U fans. I haven't looked that hard, but like we didn't have Casemiro, it would have been a different game. Which, granted, I think it would have been, but I haven't seen that thrown out yet. So I'm wondering with our peoples, will that even be brought up?
I mean, yeah, like it definitely would have been a different game, but coming into this stretch of game for Arsenal and this game specifically, Saka was one yellow away from missing the game. I think Saliba was one from missing the game. Like, we had multiple players that were that one card away from missing this game, and they kept their composure in the previous games to not miss it. So Casemiro could have done the same thing and didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
And McTominay played fine. I think there wasn't a real difference in what they would have done. I think maybe Casemiro was a little more confident because McTominay does screw up more than
I think
more than he doesn't.
A little more stability in that defensive midfield area with Casemiro, but
no, that's an exciting game. That was intense. Oh, and then just the Arteta yellow. That was one of the weakest yellows I think I've ever seen.
I don't know why people get so up in arms about this guy on the touchline. Like, he's not doing anything crazy. Is he animated and passionate? Yeah, but like, he's also watching his players get fouled multiple times and the other team not get carded. So I think it's right to ask questions,
especially on that one.
Yeah, especially that foul. And I don't know. I think rather than the ref coming over and just giving the yellow, like, go talk to the guy, give him one reason why that foul was not a yellow after the previous three or whatever, whatever.
I think it's fine when a coach gets a yellow. It shows he has his team's back. I'm all for coaches getting a technical in basketball or a card in whatever sport, or talking to might light your team up a little bit too.
Sure,
drive a little passion. I'm working at this college. I was talking to the basketball coach, and his 14 years of coaching, he's never received a technical. There's two ways to look at that. Impressive that he hasn't, sure. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think getting a technical in certain situations can be really good for your team. So, like, they had a rough game yesterday, and I think if he would have got a technical, it would have fired his team up a little bit. It would have showed, like, it's not that he doesn't have passion or anything, but I do believe, like, hey, I'm sticking up for you guys. I'll get this. Yeah, it'll put us. He says he doesn't want to ever put his team in jeopardy of not of losing a game because of something he did that allowed the other team to get points. I get that. I get soccer's a little different. Talking to the soccer coach, man, I think that guy earns a yellow every game from what I've been told. So I'm excited to see him light it up, and he protects his players too. He knows when his player is about to get a yellow or they're on a yellow that he wants to become the focus. Which I'm excited to see that too. I heard he's a pretty passionate dude when he gets on the pitch. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of like you said, and we've seen it with Jurgen Klopp too, with Liverpool. Like, there was, I don't know, one of the games against Arsenal where Klopp and Arteta kind of went at it, and then that just like spurred Klopp and the Liverpool fans on, and you could feel the energy completely sway to them. And
awesome to watch.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't mind it. He's not jumping into the field and running up and down the touchline and pulling a Mourinho or anything like. But he's passionate. He cares about the team. He cares about the result. I'd rather have that than you see the coaches that just like sit down the whole time and just like, all right.
That's kind of what Potter's looking like right now, to be honest.
Yeah. What are you doing with Chelsea? Like, it's
well, even when they scored the goal that got disallowed, it was just like, it was one of those like fist pumps. When you see Arteta like literally like, yeah, and you see Arteta flipping out, being like, come on. I don't know. That goes a long way for me. All right, goal, team, and player of the week. You got your nominations?
I do. I know we're not picking him, but I have to throw the honorable mention out to Haaland. Another hat trick. 4 hat tricks now, 25 goals. Everything we already talked about.
But, we made the rule earlier in the season. He will not get player of the week again until he gets 5 goals. Because he could be player of the week every week at this rate. Yeah. And we're going to pass on him. My player on the week is going to be Super Eddie. It's got to be. Context means everything for me. And two goals against Man U. He stepped up.
Yeah.
We really haven't seen him step up like this before either.
No, I mean, he definitely, I think it was like end of 2020, they played Chelsea, and he had another game like this where like he grabbed 2 goals and looked really good. But that was before we had Gabriel Jesus, and since he's been out, everyone's been questioning like, can Nketiah do it? Can he fill the hole? And yeah, he's been working really hard. He's scored pretty regularly, and then to grab 2 against United is just that's what you need your striker to do in these big games, is just get you over the line, get the 3 points. So I'm down with that.
And I feel like we're just gonna be doing this Arsenal thing for a minute because, to be honest, looking at the scoreboard of this past week, nothing really shouted out to me saying like that team deserves to be team of the week. Every team that won beat a weaker side, I would say. The draws were pretty boring and messy, to say the least. You can give City kudos for scoring 7 goals against 2, but the Tottenham game was kind of like, they probably should have won, and it wasn't. By the end of that game, it wasn't really a game. And you know me, I'm about context. So Arsenal gets team of the week for second week in a row. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, I mean, I think your only other option is when Fulham just destroys Tottenham tomorrow.
That could happen. So I think we maybe hold off. We talk, we can say Arsenal right now, and then tomorrow we'll really declare it unless something special happens. I think Eddie will still claim player. Goal of the week.
Oof, we have some options.
I know.
So just, I guess, my list. Nketiah's second goal. I love the little flick. Throw the leg out flick. Never know what's going to happen, but it always looks nice. I mean, Saka's goal was great, just from far out, just curls it around. Matoma with the perfect top of the box FIFA shot.
Yep.
And then Elise's free kick versus United in the midweek was just chef's kiss.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And context for that one, to keep Crystal Palace on the draw. All those were great. I just want to give shout outs to Rashford because he freaking blasted that ball today. And there was some smoke coming off that net. So that was up there for me. Nothing else really stood out. Yeah, that's tough. Between those four.
Yeah.
Arsenal can't get a clean sweep again.
No, I liked the Arsenal goals, but I think I'm really feeling Elise's free kick. Like it was just perfect, and yeah, that it got the point from that game in injury time. So
okay, well we'll sit on that one too for tomorrow in case anything special happens. I can't imagine anything beating that out unless we see the likes of Mitrovic doing a scorpion,
the whole field and then flick and scorpion.
Dude, that'd be crazy. That would be goal of the year. Puskas for everyone. Sweet. That looks good to me. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'll be able to watch. I'm assuming you're not going to be able to watch tomorrow. Or are you going to be driving? Can you catch glimpses?
I'll probably catch glimpses. We're flying down to Disneyland, so yeah, I'll probably be able to poke in here and there. But
okay, nice.
Yeah. I think tomorrow should be a good game either way.
Mm-hmm.
If the Tottenham we know shows up, I think it'll be good because Fulham will probably jump on them right away. But then, can they see out the second half? Or if we get the Tottenham that showed up against City, it could be just a good back and forth game. But I'm excited. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, no notable injuries, so it looks like both teams will be kind of full force. Besides Anthony Robinson, he is suspended with his 5 cards, which was just inevitable because we all know that dude is a little reckless. I got my new kit. Kristen got me that for Christmas over there. Nice. Little number 22, and I got my name on the back. So I wanted that kit. I didn't want the World Cup one. I'm not a huge fan of badges in the middle, and I like
boring anyway.
And that's the fruit roll up kit. And I got like every candied kit we have, so that's.
I think we just stick with that.
I know.
Stick with the candies. Go like cereals if you need to.
Ooh, cereals! What could they do for that? Little like Tony the Tiger, little Kellogg in there. Yeah. I'm all for it because we did the ice cream, we did the rocket pop, we did the candy canes, we did fruit by the foot. Are we missing something in there? The red kit reminded me of a cherry Jolly Rancher. I don't know. They're out there.
Yeah,
bring them back.
There's better options than just like the plain white and little flair here and there.
They should do, the 4th of July M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
They should do M&M patterns. Just circle red, white, and blue circles all around the kit.
I like it.
Yeah.
See, plenty of options.
I'm ready to market for Team USA. That's the goal here. I'm gonna start working with them hopefully soon. I got big news off the camera to tell you, but I don't want to say it on air. But if I got nothing else, you got anything else to say?
No, I'm chilling. Good to
Sweet.
go.
All right. Well, I'll see you back here next Sunday. We'll chit chat over the Discord. Thanks for everyone who tunes in, and it's been episode 20 of the Hooligans Pitch. 20 down, a gazillion more to go.
That's it.
Have a good weekend, y'all.
See ya.
Peace.